Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to dive into something pretty important, especially as we get older. Osteoporosis.
Yeah.
It's often called a silent disease, right?
Yeah.
Because it just progresses without symptoms until, bam, a fracture happens. And the impact is huge, especially for postmenopausal women. Plus, conventional treatments can have, side effects, adherence issues. Let's unpack this a bit.
Absolutely. And for this deep dive, we're focusing specifically on herbal adjuncts. But let me be really clear from the get-go. These are strictly complements. They add to but don't replace comprehensive care. What's interesting is how they seem to target the core problem in bone pathology, that imbalance between bone breakdown, that's osteoclasts, and bone building, the osteoblasts.
Okay, the breakdown and build-up cycle.
Exactly. So these herbs work in a few ways, regulating key signals like the OPG or ANKL axis.
That's the controller for bone remodeling.
Precisely. They also seem to boost the bone-building osteoblasts. Some have phytoestrogenic activity mimicking estrogen, and they can fight inflammation and oxidative stress. Okay, now this is really crucial. A major disclaimer right here. Just because something is natural, it does not automatically mean it's safe, especially for older adults who might be managing several health conditions and taking multiple medications.
Right, that's a critical point.
We're talking real risks. Direct toxicity, for instance. There's Sorelia coralifolia. It's been linked to liver damage, hepatotoxicity.
Wow.
Yeah. Or contamination. Raw shilajit sometimes has heavy metals. And then there are significant drug-herb interactions. Things affecting blood clotting, blood sugar, blood pressure. Major stuff.
You really need to know what you're doing.
Absolutely. And a lot of the evidence is preliminary, often from cell studies, animal studies, not always those gold standard human trials, the RCTs. So let's just state it plainly. No herb or supplement for osteoporosis should ever be used without guidance from a qualified healthcare professional. Period.
Okay, that's crystal clear. Professional supervision is essential.
You need someone who can look at your whole health picture, your meds, and make sure you're getting high-quality, safe products. It's non-negotiable.
Got it. So with that very important safety net established, let's look at some examples. Where's the evidence strongest? Or maybe where are the risks clearest?
Good way to frame it. Let's start with one that looks quite promising. Resveratrol.
Ah, the compound found in grapes and red wine.
That's the one. The Richard trial, a solid human study, showed it significantly increased bone mineral density, BMD, in the spine and hip neck in postmenopausal women. And it actually reduced the calculated fracture risk. Plus, its safety profile looked very favorable in that study.
So good evidence, good safety. That sounds like a strong case.
It is. Now, compare that to something like epimedium. You probably know it as horny goatweed.
Right, heard of it.
There's actually a compelling meta-analysis in humans suggesting it can increase BMD and even reduce pain. Pretty interesting.
Okay, but I sense a but coming.
You sense correctly. Big but. Because it has estrogen-like effects, it is an absolute no-go for anyone with hormone-sensitive cancers. And high doses. Linked to severe breathing problems. Plus, it interacts significantly with blood thinners and blood pressure meds.
So potential benefits, but serious risks and interactions to manage. Very different profile from resveratrol.
Exactly. It highlights why individual assessment is key.
What about that one you mentioned earlier with liver risk? Sorelia coralifolia. Buguzi.
Ah, yes, Buguzi. Traditionally used, strong preclinical data showing it inhibits bone resorption. Sounds good on the surface.
But the liver toxicity.
Significant risk, yes. And this is where we see the power of the formula concept from traditional medicine. It's almost never used alone. It's typically part of complex formulas like Shanling-Gubao. In those, other herbs like Salvia milturiza, for instance, are thought to potentially mitigate its toxicity.
Ah, so the combination is designed to enhance effects and reduce risks. That's sophisticated.
Very. It's a multi-target approach. Now, for a surprise, how about thyme?
Thyme. Like the cooking herb. Seriously.
Seriously. Recent human clinical trials showed thyme significantly increased BMD and P-scores.
Oh.
And get this, it even seemed to work synergistically with conventional medication. So, yeah, a potentially compelling option right from the spice rack almost.
That's fascinating. So connecting the dots here.
A lot of these herbs seem to work on similar pathways, right? Modulating that OPG or NKL axis we talked about, fighting inflammation, oxidative stress, this inflammaging idea, offering some phytoestrogenic support. And again, that formula concept shows how synergy and managing toxicity are often built in traditionally.
Okay, so wrapping up the specifics. If someone's looking at the human evidence for direct bone benefits, the strongest contenders seem to be epimedium, with all those caveats, resveratrol, and another one called Rhizoma drinariae, or goose suibu.
Those have the most direct human data, yes.
And maybe a lower risk kind of background support approach.
Mhm.
Using those anti-inflammatory culinary herbs more often.
Mm-hmm.
Turmeric, ginger, rosemary, and thyme.
Absolutely. Incorporating those into your diet is generally a safe, potentially beneficial step for overall health, including possibly bone health, by helping manage inflammation. Low risk, potential reward there.
But let's hammer this home one last time.
Please do. These are adjuncts. They are not cures. They do not replace the foundations. Foundational osteoporosis management has to involve a plan with your healthcare provider. That means appropriate medication if needed, enough calcium and vitamin D, and regular weight-bearing exercise. Adding herbs. That requires careful, informed integration under professional guidance, always.
So the final thought for you to ponder. How might integrating some of these ancient botanical insights, carefully guided by modern science and your doctor, reshape your personal approach to lifelong bone health?